High Frequency Living in Lakesh Studio One's Evolutionary Book Club tonight, here on the Low to Of the Sun YouTube channel. We will be discussing the book, The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And tonight is a special guest, Tavares of the Sun. Thank you for joining, Tavares. I'm so excited.
And Lakesh and Veritas, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this evening.
Thank you. It's going to be very, very exciting and enlightening, I know. So a few announcements before we get started. High Frequency Living offers live streams which focus on high frequency living lifestyle topics like meditation and breath work, wellness, and nutrition. Of the Sun classes and modalities like quantum light property clearing, soul translation, energetic protection, light body movement, DNA activation, all kinds of classes. So I am Diane of the Sun, owner of Lakesh Studio One, a franchise of the Sun. We offer quantum light property clearing services, truth and tea, call for the truth card readings, and other services and products. Highlighting tonight is the Of the Sun highly vibrational rose water. This is back in stock. And if you happen to join us last Friday, I was with Lauren of the Sun, and she was talking about roses and how roses are the highest frequency found in nature. So this rose water has the highest frequency in nature, plus it is enhanced with elevation from Laota. So it is really powerful. So it is a 16-ounce bottle, and it's a spray bottle. And you can get that at inlakeshstudio1.com. And elevate your space. I use it not only to spray on myself, but I also put it in my diffuser. I put a little bit in there, and so it really makes the whole space smell wonderful and feel wonderful. So if you're looking for some clarity with a situation, like moving, a job change, or relationship issue, book a personal call for the Truth Divination card reading. This is the Truth and Tea service, and you can get some insight into what is the truth of your experience. And if any of you follow me on Instagram, I do a Frequency Friday, and I haven't posted today yet, but today's card was consciousness. What we thought yesterday, we do not have to choose to think tomorrow. We are the responsible party. We are responsible for our own experience. And that talks to whole responsibility and Ho'oponopono. So these cards were created by Laota after she wrote her book. So they're a companion for her book, Call for the Truth. And we did this, she joined us last month for a book club and discussion. So check that out if you missed it last month. It's on this YouTube channel. And all right. So our next book club will be March 6th at 7 p.m. on the YouTube channel. And we will be discussing The Golden Compass, which is also a recommended book by Of the Sun. So it's fascinating to read this book and how it relates to what we are doing in Of the Sun. So Of the Sun has the ongoing light body movement, the first 4 Sundays of every month. Join us this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern as we continue exploring the solar plexus, and that will be the focus for the whole month of February. Our solar plexus is our solar bodies. It's our sun. This membership is a great way to be introduced to and enhance your Of the Sun practices, ideas, modalities, etc. And it is only $45 per month for access to all sessions, live and recorded. All materials and meditations, activations, there are many things that are offered, and you will also have access to the previous sessions and all the information. So it's a great thing. Register at ofthesun.com on the homepage. And if you're interested in learning another or your first soul translation modality, the next class will be in March on Tuesdays, March 10th, 17th, and 24th at 6 p.m. Eastern with Laota. Laota will be teaching the modality of reclaiming your sovereignty with freedom release. And yesterday in her in the live stream with Tavares, she mentioned if you're wanting to take the class, start writing your list now of all the schools you went to, your credit cards, all the user agreements you signed, and so you can have something to work from. So the only prerequisite for soul translation class is the sun calibration class. And if you haven't taken it yet, it is offered as a recorded class. And then Tavares will be teaching DNA activation this month in February, starting next week on Thursdays. And this class is a prerequisite class for the next Quantum Light Property Clearing class, level 1, which will be offered, I believe, in April. And you can also sign up for an audit for the first session if you haven't been in the class previously. Tavares, did you have anything you'd like to share about the DNA activation class?
Yes, DNA activation is one of the first services that I signed up for upon working with Of the Sun or coming across Lauta. And full circle, with honor, respect, and gratitude, I now assist with facilitating this. However, I do not do this alone. We roll with a crew, the galactic genetic engineers, the Elohim, to assist with the reconnection process. So I'm just simply the conduit. However, there are allied forces to help with this reconnective portion. You know, they say your DNA, about 90 something percent of your DNA is referred to as junk. No, that's just a scramble, encoded aspect that has been dormant. And so this is the aspect of ourselves that connects to the greater cosmic awareness of who we are, plain and simple. What people call gifts, such as clairvoyance, clairsentience, but operating in a higher function, that exists within the idea of replicating the strands of the DNA. So not only are we doing the reconnection process, but we're also teaching how can you replicate, because that's really what it's about. Many people can do a DNA connection. There is also the cosmic energies coming and broadcasting, emanating upon the planet. However, sustaining the connection is key, and that's through the lifestyles that we have. And so, in the second and third day, we are deeply focused on how to sustain a higher dimensional lifestyle above the third dimensional experience of suffering. And then also, what does it look like when you notice your strands replicating? How does that correspond with your energy centers? Because there is a literal one for one correspondence. I'm going to dial back a little bit because I'm a little excited. But DNA activation, it's a wonderful um, service for anyone who recognizes that they have been operating within limitation and seek to experience more of their multidimensional self. And then lastly, for anyone who's looking to sign up for quantum light property clearing, this is also a prerequisite because this accessing of your greater dimensional self is required for clearing remote spaces non-locally, whether it's in Japan or Zimbabwe or the UK. Like, you have to realize that you're more, and this connection helps facilitate that. So that's my addition to that. And thank you for bringing up that announcement.
Awesome. Thank you for that explanation. That was really good. I think that'll be helpful for people to understand. And then also, Tavares will be teaching energetic protection and defense in March on Thursdays. And this also is a prerequisite class for the Quantum Light Property Clearing. So did you have some comments about the energetic protection and defense class as well?
Yes, briefly, we just did a podcast on it. It hasn't been uploaded yet. However, stay tuned. And there are also previous podcasts we've done, several, on the concept of energetic protection and defense, and the necessity. Um, in essence, the core class is focused around um, one singular call for the truth divination card, and the theme is protection. You protect yourself by knowing who you are. Know who you are. So our focus is uh, moving our students into understanding who and what they are, which is light, which is consciousness. You are connected with the outside field. You're not separated, but to not allow yourself to be subjected to what you observe within the field. Choose to broadcast, choose to click on the light switch to radiate something differently into the field. And that's through our thoughts, that's through our knowingness, that's through our decision, that's through our clarity of who and what we are. And we can have influence. We can keep stuff off of us just through clarity alone. And along with that, we are using universal laws and principles to support us in that understanding, where it's not just theoretical and airy fairy. It's no, there are mechanics in this universe that you can lean on that makes these understandings so. And then we give you a spiritual utility belt of kung fu and martial arts to keep stuff off of you. But those things are only as effective as your understanding of clarity of who and what you are. So it's a really great class. And again, a prerequisite as well for the quantum light property clearing class.
Thank you, Tavares. Yes, it has been very helpful for me to bring clarity to my own life about what I need to do to protect my energy and my body. So thank you. Easier to move through with all that information and all the tools. There's many, many, many tools that you offer. So thank
That's
you.
right. It's buffet. Willy Wonka.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So that wraps up our announcements for tonight. So I'll just do a quick little welcome everyone in the chat. I see there's quite a few people. So Stephanie Singletary, Cecilia, Leon Airy, Serenity MacArthur, Stacy, Russ Goldston, Lauren, and Diva 831. And Lakesh and Veritas, everyone, welcome. All righty, so this is going to be so exciting. I'm excited to get into this book because as I was going through it, I was writing notes about like every page. I thought there was something important, maybe not every page, but pretty many pages.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear your what you want to bring forward tonight too. So wherever you would like to start would be awesome. Thank you.
All right. And so I felt very similar sentiments. As I went back through the book, there were just so many concepts, and I have a ton of excerpts and notes. And as I was doing it, my guidance said, stop. Like, you're right. We're not going to cover all of this stuff. So I condensed some of this down to key standout excerpts that really speak to the essence of what Thoth is looking to bring forth in these tablets, and also some correlations with the idea of the sun and those who walk this path to light. And it's an excellent book. Some find it challenging due to its mythical language. It's worded, hark ye, oh man. Like,
Yes, it is a challenge sometimes to understand that.
yeah. So I've read this several times over the years, and in recent times, oh, I went so deeper, and I read it in a salt bath, and it was just so much flooding through, and I was right there with him. And when I say him, I really do mean that. For those who may not be aware, Thoth is very much an ally with of the Sun. To give you all a little perspective, Lao Tzu and I, in cultivating the Call for the Truth divination cards, we called in Thoth to assist with this process. And the idea and the concept of the corresponding layers came forth from him, and the guidance through the process as well. Usually, and this is not currently available. However, working with the dimensional doorway mat is one of the insignia rugs that we utilize. It would allow access to the pyramid energy, which is associated with the flame element. Thoth is associated with fire, light, all of that good stuff. And one visual that I will share that Lao Tzu and I has of Thoth is not so much the traditional ibis head. For those who are likely aware of Thoth, it's the ancient Egyptian or Cometian image of the ibis head, and he's the scribe, which of course he is, among many things. However, Lao Tzu sees him as I see him as a singular flame. Lao Tzu sees him as a flame on horseback, which is a wild image. But when you think about the symbolism, it's the idea of the essence of who and what we are, the primordial energy, life itself. It is electric. And the idea of, as she puts it, riding a 2,000-pound beast requires a level of clarity and connection and coherency. And that beast symbolizing material matter, physical reality, the animal nature, being able to direct that via the light. And when you read this book, it's very clear that that's our story as well. We are the light. That is our origin. However, we have forgotten, and we are shrouded in darkness. Again, there are many excerpts. I actually have a couple of excerpts that speak deeply to this point. And, this has been going on since, I want to say, forever. Because when you look at it through the lens of Thoth, I'm like, dang, y'all were dealing with this back then? Because he's talking about Atlantis and having to escape and the Dark Brotherhood. And I'm like, damn, this is an epic tale happening. And, but the remembrance of his soul coming back to the knowingness of who he is, traveling the halls of Amenti, which is essentially breaking the reincarnation cycle, through the embodiment and the awareness of light, that he is light. And so, again, there's several mentions of Harky, oh man, know that thee are light. in nature to get us to remember. And it's one other thing that I like about the book is that when you read it, it sounds poetic. There's a lot of rhyme and rhythm, which is very in tandem with the laws and principles. The law of rhythm, literally. The universe is rhythmic, and you can see the rhythm of truth. I would even say in Lao Tzu's book, Call for the Truth, it actually has that rhythm where there is like a pattern of this within the stanzas that rhyme. And I was like, does she do that intentionally? And I understand that when you're tapped in, it's just something that flows through. It naturally happens. And so it'll be my pleasure to start off reading a couple of excerpts, share some of my thoughts. And again, these thoughts are, I'll be correlating them with the idea of the sun and how that aligns with the Emerald Tablets, or how the Emerald Tablets aligns with the idea of the sun. Chicken or the egg, right?
Okay.
Alrighty.
Sounds wonderful.
You have any initial thoughts before I jump into this?
I really enjoyed what you said about this is our story also. We are the light. And just a comment too about how it is written. It was very difficult for me years ago when I first wanted to read it. I couldn't get through it because it was with the way it was written. It was hard for me to understand at that time. But since I've been with Of the Sun for a while, a long time now, it's almost 9 years. So, and now it's much easier to read. I could read through it, and yes, it's still not like reading just regular English, but I'm looking forward to your explanations as well. So thank you.
Yes, most certainly. So,
before we start, there's a quick comment here. This is relevant to what you just said. Leon Erie said, "Woohoo! Year of the Fire Horse."
Oh yeah, yeah, ride that horse, girl. Flame on,
Mm-hmm.
flame on. All right.
Yes.
So I have this one statement: for only in the search of truth could my soul be stilled and the flame within quenched. And so this right here sets the tone of what the sentiment was and the disposition of Thoth in his pursuit. And so when we think about ourselves as souls on the path of pursuing, we can call it truth, light, knowledge, to know self, gnosis, uh, there's a flame inside that we're looking to expand through the expansion of awareness. And every moment when we begin to understand more of who and what we are, the flame expands, literally the light, we get to experience that. And again, it's like he could only get it through truth. Nothing else did that for him. And as I was reading through the book, I'm like, oh my gosh, I see what you mean. This is why, again, I say his story is our story, because what's required is to have an unending thirst for truth. One thing that I realized in my own journey, but also those who are associated with the sun, is that we are noticing a demagnetization to the lie. We are noticing that
Mhm.
if it doesn't resonate as truth, I can't get with it. It doesn't hit the same. Whether it's different things that you've engaged with in terms of your habits, people you've hung around, venues, food that you eat, different thoughts, just this noticing like, it's not doing it for me. It's not giving me the satisfaction. But when you do something, and I'll speak from my own experience, when I'm teaching, when I'm going deep into meditation, when I'm in nature, when I'm connecting, when I'm doing all the things, right, that associates with the light, it literally gives me life. And I'm like, man, this is giving better than, whatever the thing is out there that really is darkness, anti-life. So that's the first statement that I wanted to share, that I feel is like the number one thing that stood out to me. And it's something that we must adopt, where we real coming to the realization that the anti-life is not going to give us what we thought or what we've been convinced by the outside world that it would give us. It's all a lie. It's the light you're looking for. It's the truth that you're looking for. Not just you, your soul is yearning for it. It's literally a nourishment, and that's what will expand the flame and or your consciousness or your inner light. You have any thoughts on that before I shift into the actual excerpts?
That I like that, how that I agree with you about the demagnetization, because there are things that I used to do and I'm like, "Oh," and I would go to do that and it would be like, that doesn't
Yeah,
give me any satisfaction anymore." But
yeah,
all these other things do. And so now I'm really grateful for finding the truth, and I could sit with the cards all the time as well, calling for the truth with I mean, I can meditate with one card for a long time. So
yeah. I feel
I
you.
can see that because that outside world, those things don't matter anymore to me because they aren't real. So
If I
thank
may, as you were speaking, one of the things that I saw was, in essence, it dampens the fire. You ever feel
you.
that way, where like you engage with something and you feel like, dang, my fire has been dampened. I'm not as bright as I was because of willingly choosing to engage with this dark thing that I allowed it to enter.
Right, because it's always us. We have the power to choose. We choose. Mhm.
Well, certainly. All right, so I'm going to jump to the um, one of the first ideas here. Uh, I have some excerpts crossed out, like, oh, we can't go into that. That's just too much. Uh,
Okay. Could we just there's a couple comments before
oh,
we
yeah, sure thing. Yeah.
continue. Lauren says, agreed. This is on point and so needed. I've often visualized the flame to assist with clearing. Clearing I don't see any more after that. And then Shaka Warrior says she had a comment she was asking about when the energetic protection class or the energetic protection video was going to be posted that you said you videoed yesterday,
Yeah, we should have that up by next week.
next week. Okay. And then she also commented, it's meant to guide seekers toward enlightenment, inner balance, and a deeper understanding of the connection between the material and spiritual realms.
Well, certainly.
So, yes.
Yeah.
And
Often we share like our goal. Well, at least this is the way how I've articulated it within of a sun, specifically through light body. We're looking to bring the idea of the chakras or the light to the forefront. Make you're physical. You're just as much energetic. So I definitely agree.
yes. Okay. And
All
one
right.
more quick.
Yeah.
Stacy says television does not offer satisfaction anymore. The artificial light, anti-life being programmed just doesn't get it anymore. Absolutely. So thank you.
Yeah. So this first excerpt, one of the reasons why I was called to bring this forth or guide it, just I'm like, hey, what do we talk about? Because I don't know, it's just too many good things. Uh, it was when Thoth was in the Hall of the Minty, and he was with one of the masters in the hall. There were several masters in the Hall of Minty. One of them stepped forward, and there were these visuals that were projected, and these visuals really help paint a visual of humanity. And so I'm going to read this and then I'll go into a little more detail. Raised in the hand of the figure, forth came a light that grew clear and bright, rolled back swiftly the curtain of darkness, unveiled the hall from the darkness of the night. Then grew in the great space before me, flame after flame, from the veil of the night. Uncounted millions leaped they before me, some flaming forth as flowers of fire. Others there were that shed a dim radiance, glowing but faintly from out of the night. Some there were that faded swiftly, others that grew from a small spark of light, each surrounded by its dim veil of darkness, yet flaming with light that could never be quenched. Coming and going like fireflies in springtime, filled they the space with light and with life. And this is one more section. You all are probably picking up already what's taking place. This last section kind of hints more towards it. Then spoke a voice, mighty and solemn, saying, these are lights that are souls among men, growing and fading, existing forever, changing yet living through death into light. Correction, life. When they have bloomed into flower, reached the zenith of growth in their life, swiftly then send I my veil of darkness, shrouding and changing to new forms of life, steadily upward throughout the ages, growing, expanding into yet greater flame, lighting the darkness with yet greater power, quenched yet unquenched by the veil of the night. We got to go back to that one in a moment. So grows the soul of man ever upward, quenched yet unquenched by the darkness of the night. And then this last section, I, death, come, and yet I remain not, for life eternal exists in the all. Only an obstacle, I in the pathway, quick to be conquered by the infinite light. Awaken, O flame that burns ever inward. Flame forth and conquer the veil of the night. All right, so it's a lot of hark ye, oh, thou art. As usual. But so when Thoth was in the halls of Amenti and he was speaking with the masters, seven were they. That's the like seven were they. And what he saw was there was like, this is what I saw because I was in a meditative space and I was there seeing it. 360 darkness. Imagine being in space. And what he saw was akin to what we see when we look up at the stars, as above, so below. But he was seeing the earth plane, and what he saw were these flickers of light. And again, the language exhibited or detailed swift flickers, that's like people dying quickly, in and out. Think about like
Mhm.
stars dying, coming to life and dying, stars growing in their capacity to brighten, and some of them very, very dim, but still there. And is that not the human experience? Is that not what is happening on Earth? And that was in whatever time and space that he was observing this in. So it's been dark. It's been a lot of little tiny lights. So this really helps depict and sets the stage for where humanity has been, and also helps us see the correspondence between the above and the below. There's so much more to this. I've made excerpts about the concept that he mentions, that you are literally a star, which we'll get there in a moment. But another thing that he mentions is, and I'm going to read this: so grows the soul of man ever upward, quench yet unquenched by the darkness of the night. That's literally what I was talking about. The darkness of the night is the anti-life, the dark stuff out here, the debauchery, the sadness, the depression, the negativity, the gossip, whatever it is. The bad foods, right? Things that do not give you life. Every time we engage in them, we remain unquenched. Even when we're looking upward to stretch, and I think that's more speaking to those who are on the evolutionary path. You're looking ever upward, and then you take a little nibble of darkness. You're like, I don't know. You're unquenched. You might feel a little something, quenched yet unquenched.
Mhm.
It's like yes, but no, is what he's saying.
That's a good
And
way to say it.
yes, yes. And I think there's one more thing in here that I wanted to touch on, just a few seconds. No, I'm going to hold off there because there's so much more that we could speak on. But you have any thoughts on that before I jump to the next section?
I like that quenched, unquenched, because yes, you're sort of like, especially with something that was anti-life that you used to engage in, and you used to be quenched by it, but not so much now. And I know I've been drawn to certain things and like, well, no, not anymore. And it's more of a uh, a habit more than an actual desire.
Yeah.
So I think that really changes it too. If it's a real desire, that's a whole different story. But I haven't run into any real desires any recently that I've been wanting to do that were anti-life. I would look at things that I had done before and go, "Do I want to do that now? No, no, okay." So that really has dropped off, which has really been helpful. That flame really helps. The truth helps when you see what things really are. It
Most
helps to
certainly.
demagnetize from it.
Yeah, I think
Thank
what
you.
you're saying is just a perfect depiction of when we accumulate more light, there is a natural dissidence to
Mhm.
that which is not. It's like a built-in consequence of amplifying the light. It doesn't mean that we don't have little drops, but I can see in my own experience as well being more prone to like, I think I'll pass on that. It's not I and yet my thirst remains unquenched. So I'm gonna start talking like Thoth. Watch it. Start using this one.
Okay.
Somebody tries to offer me some that does not quench my thirst. All right.
Yes.
So Diane, this next, and not just Diane, because we got a group here. I also want to acknowledge all of those who are in the chat or in the live stream. Honor, respect, and gratitude for being with us this evening. The next
Yeah.
section is an excerpt from Tablet 4 titled The Spaceborne. And this is one of my favorites too. I put this in bold. Forth then, my soul sped throughout the cosmos, seeing ever new things and old, learning that man is truly spaceborne, a son of the sun, a child of the stars. Know ye, O man, whatever from ye inhabit, surely it is one with the stars. Thy bodies are nothing but planets, revolving around their central suns. When ye have gained the light of all wisdom, free shall ye be to shine in the ether, one of the suns that light outer darkness, one of the spaceborne grown into light. Lift up your flame from out of the darkness, fly from the night, and ye shall be free. Listen, ye spaceborne, list to my wisdom. Know ye not that ye too will be free? List ye again, O man, to my wisdom, that hearing ye too might live and be free. Not of the earth are ye, earthy, but a child of the infinite cosmic light. Know ye not, O man, of your heritage? Know ye not ye are truly the light? Son of the great sun, when ye gain wisdom, truly aware of your kinship with light. I had, like I said, I had to put that in bold because I'm like, oh, you're speaking to me. Oh my gosh, I gotta embody. I gotta chase the light. So let's break this down a little bit. There are several different things here that Thoth is saying to us. One, I think the obvious, know who you are. There is a line, there's a phrase that Laota and I, we got from a movie. I forgot oh, I remember the name. The movie or the film is called The Dark Tower. And Idris Elba is in this movie. And he's what's called a gunslinger or something along those lines. And so there's a lineage of men, magical men who are, they got these magical guns where they shoot and aim with their third eye and their heart, and it's all interconnected. And this idea of, let me make sure I'm in there, the idea of we have forgotten the face of our mother and our father. So the gunslingers, they have this creed, and in the creed he says, have you forgotten the face of your father? Oh, you've forgotten the face of your father. And it's this idea of you've forgotten your connection, you've forgotten who and what you are. And so, you know, Thoth mentions this, it's over and over. You are of the earth, earthy. Yeah, but you're infinite. You're cosmic and light. You're a little earthy. You got a little earth in you, but you're more than that. And you know, this really speaks to the idea of us being, you know, the term star seeds. It sounds so whimsical, but it is so true. When you think about this concept of, and I'm going to read this again, a son of the sun, a child of the stars. What does that mean? What does that mean? You know, and then when you, this idea of like when the souls come down here, what is the point? What business do we have here? To be the light, but to remember who and what we are. And I love the line, the bodies are nothing but planets revolving around their central suns. We often speak about, and right now, we are in light body, the solar plexus, and we are speaking and teaching about this concept of embodying a solar identity, that you are the sun. You have a miniature sun inside of you. The earth has a sun inside of her in the central core. That's reality. It's like this, as within, so without. And to identify with that, when we think about the solar plexus, it directly correlates with the identity center, the ego, the personality, how we perceive ourselves in relation to the outside world. So it, in essence, see yourself as the light, see yourself as the sun. And I think I'm going to kind of pull back because, like I said, I can keep going, and there's a ton of excerpts that I have. But how is this landing for you, Diane, and as well as everyone here live stream? Please share with us your thoughts.
Yes, there's let's see. Oh, there's a few comments. Yes. Oh, okay. I'm going back here. All right. Leon Aries says, quenched, unquenched reminds me of how when you start something like drugs, for instance, you have a high, then you can never have it again. And addictions like those start because there's a desire to chase. So, yes. Oh, chase that first high, but it is never the same again. I think this applies to a bunch of things, but drugs is the easiest example.
Yeah. May I make
Yeah,
comment to that?
that's
I've learned this through working with Laota over the years. And, many people on the journey pursue, for example, some of the sacred herbs. And I will start by saying they have their place. However, what happens is that we end up putting our power into something external, losing the plot, chasing the high. And for spiritualists, sometimes it's escapism. Like, oh, I'm expanded, and then you shrink right back down, and all your problems are right back in front of you. And you probably don't
Mhm.
even, you barely remember what you experienced, right? And so Lao Tzu would say to me, that I am the sacred herb. You are the sacred herb. And over the years, I have come to understand that I've had peak experiences, and through clearing, meditation, through fasting, uh, to really experience these peaks in consciousness, which were like I was on a substance, but it was internal.
It
And
was
we have the capacity to achieve such a thing, but it
Mhm.
does require, knowing who you are. It does require a little bit of discipline too, but it's obtainable. It all exists within.
Yes. All right. So here is Shaka Warrior says, yes, the moment when human consciousness transcends limitation and aligns with higher wisdom. Yep, that's where we're going
Mhm.
for everyone to align with that. True Intentions 144 says, wow, I forgot about this class up till now. This video again, can I say, is right on time for my life with a check mark and a heart. Thank you for sharing and being here. And Shaka Warrior said, that's on point, Diane of the Sun. What Thoth sees is ultimately expanded perception. Yes, for sure. I liked your explanation, Tavares, of that section, about, we are the child of the stars. I like the stars, the idea of the stars and the sun. We're the sun and the stars because the sun is a star, right? It's just
Yeah.
a really big one. So we are all of that. And we have the choice to become that light and keep growing it. And with the light body movement, we are growing that light, bringing that flame even greater. So thank you.
Really. All right. So
And
I'll
I like
dive.
to, yes,
Go ahead.
about the earth. We're earthy, but we're not,
Yes.
because we are, but we're not. So
Yeah.
thank you.
All right. So the next section, this is going to be very brief. I took a little excerpt because there's a true journey that's occurring with Thoth, where he goes to the halls of the Minty, he sees the masters, he speaks to the dweller of Unal, and the dweller of Unal, that's Emerald Tablet number 5. And there's a little excerpt that gives us understanding of what happened back then. And we kind of know this, but I was guided to just read it. It's very brief, and then we'll jump to the next section. Light there was in ancient Atlantis, yet darkness too was hidden in all. Fell from the light into the darkness, some who had risen to heights among men. Proud they became because of their knowledge. Proud were they of their place among men. Deep delved they into the forbidden, opened the gateway that led to below. Sought they to gain ever more knowledge, but seeking to bring it up from below. You see the rhyme scheme? It's almost got that Dr. Seuss.
Maybe that's where Dr. Seuss got it from. From the
Probably.
emerald tablets, yes.
Sue was like, I think he's on to something. I need to adopt this. That's a good point. Okay, so just briefly, just when I read this, it was clear again that uh, humanity, in our pursuits of power, went to the lower realms. That's where a lot of our dark cults are. Literally what we're dealing with right now. Epstein files and everything else associated with that. We don't have to get into that spiel, but the world is awakening to this reality. But it's so ancient. It has always been here. And Thoth clearly speaks about it. And that's really all I had to say. You know, it's just something that has been with us for a very long time. And may this give us clarity as to we need clarity. We need clarity of what the mission, the purpose is, because other people got an agenda. Ancient at that.
Well, isn't this also part of like the 25,000 year cycle where we have to go into the darkness for some period of time to come back out into the light?
Yes, and even hearing you say that is bringing up a variety of other concepts associated with that. Precision of the equinox, cycles, you know, golden age, all of that great stuff. And I can see the truth of that. I see it right now when we look at, I would say, just the last 20 years, humanity has awakened more than ever to certain levels of truth. Although in our process of awakening, the awakening has been kind of used and corporatized and advertised against us and manipulated and distorted, but yet we still awaken. And I can see that that's just a tactic of the forces who have been in power, those ancient forces that this excerpt just spoke of, attempting to stop the inevitable. And I think we all can feel it. It's inevitable. And what we also see with the current administration, just looking at the Western world, and even if we look globally with the whole New World Order, World Economic Forum, these type of concepts for the trajectory that they're looking to steer humanity into, it is a desperate attempt to stop the inevitable. You know, so we are in that time, and I think that it's also it's almost like air beneath our wings, so to say, knowing that um, if we harmonize with the cycles, if we move in harmony with this idea, there is only up from here. But we can't do that with holding hands with the darkness that's on its way out, that's desperate as well. So I completely agree with you. That's just another facet of perspective on it.
Thank you.
So the next section is Emerald 6. And this speaks a little more to it. Just a second. I want to just double check if we, yeah, they're saying, read it, read it. Okay. Hark ye, O man, to the wisdom of magic. Hark the knowledge of powers forgotten. Long ago in the days of the first man, warfare began between darkness and light. Man, then as now, were filled with both darkness and light. And while in some darkness held sway, in other light filled the soul. Age old in this warfare, the eternal struggle between darkness and light. Fiercely is it fought all through the ages, using strange powers hidden to man. Adepts has there been filled with the blackness, struggling always against the light. But others there are who, filled with brightness, have ever conquered the darkness of night. Where'er ye may be in all ages and plain, surely ye shall know of the battle with night. Sorry, that tickles me because it's like, it don't matter where you at through time and space, you've been confronting this darkness. If I may, of the sun, we work in terms of quantum light property clearing and dimensional warfare, helping non-physical beings break free of bondage and enslavement as well. There are many allies who have come to us from other planetary systems, other dimensional planes, sharing with us that they too have gone through the same thing, many of which have been consumed by the darkness. They did not make it out. Some of them were, what do you call it when, I don't remember the actual term, but some of them escaped and made it out, but their planetary systems were gone. And some of them conquered the darkness, were able to offset it. And so we have experienced this through Of the Sun, through engagement. And when I saw these words, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see the truth. And it just matches up the reality that I have experienced through the work of the Sun, doing the dimensional warfare, clearing the properties, finding souls trapped, magical beings trapped, and the necessity to free them. So again, everybody's confronted with the darkness, no matter where you are in space and time. I'll continue on. Where am I? Okay. The sons of the morning, descending, found the world filled with night. There in the past begun the struggle, the age-old battle, darkness and light. Many in the time were filled so, correction, many in the time were so filled with darkness that only feebly flamed the light from the night. Hark ye, O man, and list to my warning. Be ye free from the bondage of night. Surrender not your soul to the brothers of darkness. Keep thy face ever turned towards the light. Know ye not, O man, that your sorrow only has come through the veil of the night? Man, heed ye my warning. Strive ever upward. Turn your soul toward the light. The brothers of darkness seek for their brothers those who travel the pathway of light. For well know they that those who have traveled far towards the sun in their pathway of light have great and yet greater power to bind with darkness the children of light. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Diane, you got some thoughts on this at all before I give any excerpts? Okay.
No, I'm taking it into, it is very, it's that the darkness is always looking for the light, but not in the right way. But the light has to just make sure that it doesn't accept the darkness, see it, and then move. As Lauta says, don't be afraid of the dark and the darkness. You know, light illuminates the darkness, and it has to go away. So I think it's funny that the darkness is trying to find the light, but the light is going to have the darkness go away anyway.
Regardless, but the darkness requires those who are of the light to not know that they are such.
Well, that's true. I guess you have to know that you are the light and you are removing the darkness. And if you don't know that, they can take you, right?
Yeah, I agree. And that's our story. You know, we're beings with amnesia. I was on a call with a client, and it was kind of funny because the analogy I was using in our consult was this idea of, you know, we're all in school, but it seems like there's no teachers. It's just a bunch of rascals in the classroom. And we didn't come in knowing what to do. And so it's kind of that circumstance. And again, the darkness is seizing that opportunity. If you think about humanity, the purity it was obfuscated with, the idea of what has happened to us, is akin to rape. We are like children. We have been like children. We are like almost infants in terms of our cosmic awareness, not quite knowing that we got power, and that power being used against us, whether it's to engineer realities through our own imaginations and not knowing the power of our minds. There's something that he mentions that about your sorrow only coming from the veil of darkness. And it's kind of what you were saying, like these things negative emotions, negative thoughts, negative experiences, the collective shared experience, it's only because we are focused on the darkness. It's the attention. If you think about, again, this is ancient, but as Lao Tzu often says, there are no new tricks. It's all the same. So the dark brotherhood, dark forces, we can go deep, archons, whatever we want to call that, that force that has been attempting to hijack humanity's attention is still trying to do it to this day, to keep our attention focused on the worst case scenario. Focus on Trump, focus on ICE, focus on this, focus on that, instead of the solution, instead of the light, instead of what would give us life, instead of what would create a new reality. That's the psyop, or one of the psyops, because there's a ton of them apparently.
I was going to say there's more than one, I think.
It's like psyop, get these psyops off of me. They're all over. You're so right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Let's see if there's one last thing.
Okay. One,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
One more comment here. Russ says it's creating cognitive dissonance within people because we are in a season of deconstruction and the initial grind of something new or being remembered. So within the transition, people are challenged. And that's the darkness and the light. Now that we know that we're light, the people that know can overcome that darkness. And as you said, get away from those things that they're trying to get our attention and focus on the light and what we want the new world to be.
Most certainly. I
Yes.
agree.
Thank
Funny
you.
enough, that comment coincides with this, the last sentence in the piece that I wanted to speak on before jumping to the next.
Okay.
It says, "For well know they that those who have traveled far towards the sun in their pathway of light have great and yet greater power to bind with darkness the children of the light." In essence, I have heard people over the years say things like, "Oh, I'm afraid to brighten my light because that means I'm going to attract more darkness." That's when you're undisciplined. That's when you don't know who you are. But Thoth is essentially speaking to that idea. Yeah, you get more power. Like there's an equal opposite reaction. You feel the drop more, you feel the dissonance more. There is a pull. It's this reality, but I see that it happens in the absence of not knowing or the lack of discipline thereof to continue turning upwards. So we are in transition, and there is potentiality to rebind with the darkness that we've been shedding, or other forms of darkness as we continue to ascend upward. And so, we got to keep that in check. But that was an aspect that the last aspect that I wanted to bring forth in that section that really coincide with what Russ was saying in the chat.
So just to add, Russ also mentioned we need a sun op instead of a psyop. We need a
I like
sun
that.
op.
Cool.
I like that. And
Yeah, that's
another
cool.
couple comments quickly came in. The light is automatically stronger by Lay Leon Ari. And then also, I am Elijah Woods said the challenge is where creation happens.
Yeah,
That is
it's a
so
good point.
true. Yes.
It is. And so I have like two more sections, if I may read them. One is from Emerald Tablet 7, titled "The Seven Lords," and then the last is Emerald Tablet 10, "The Key of Time," and they're relatively short.
Okay. I
Uh,
can see.
okay, so Emerald Tablet 7, and before I even begin reading this up, Thoth references the chakras without calling them the chakras. We got to remember where that language, where that word even comes from. India, the Vedas. That's the word or the description that they're using to identify the energy centers, the energy vortexes. They are worlds within themselves. They are consciousness. They are eternal. They are physical yet not physical. There's a lot of language which I have the excerpts, but they're just so long. And that's probably for another day or another time. We'll figure that out. but the book does speak to it. And as I was reading through it, I could see, I was like, oh my gosh, he's communicating with the different centers of light. He's literally speaking with the bodies of consciousness that are existing within us. And it's just a fascinating thing to see, but it's not outwardly spoken. So, it does require, like you said before, rereading. You got to be a little meditative, got to open yourself up. But I saw this through connecting with Thoth, with calling him in, show me the truth, and calling for the truth. So Emerald Tablet 7, this is one section. No, it's two little sections here. Spoke again to me the nine, saying, seek you to find the path to beyond. Not impossible is it to grow to a consciousness above. For when two have become one, and one has become the all, know ye the barrier has lifted, and ye are made free of the road. Grow thou from form to the formless. Free may thou be of the road. That, I think, is kind of clear, but the two becoming one, we often in Of a Sun talk about the outer reflection and the connectivity, the oneness, understand that, your blueprint, your template is the morphic field, the torus, right? Inside is reflected on the outside and it infolds back in. And to drop the barriers of separation between the two, but to be demagnetized by the reflection, especially in our transition. We could be moving from one phase of consciousness to another, or working on changing one habit into another one negative habit into a constructive habit, and we're seeing shifts and changes in the field, and we may feel some type of way about what we're seeing. It's important to realize you are not separate from it. That's the two become the one, and realizing when you're the one that you are the all. Again, within our practice, we call forth aid and support from all that is. We are one with all that is. It is flowing through us now. We feel the universal life force energy of all that is. Our practices are literally calling to reinforce this concept, to break the barriers of separation with the field. But by recognizing that you are the source generator, the sun exists within you. Just as the sun is a self-sustaining, self-perpetuating generator, we're little sun babies. Understanding that we are self-perpetuating as the torus field is. That's the mechanics. That's how the field goes. And, again, drop the barriers of separation. And that's where freedom comes from. That's, and the language of grow from form to the formless. That's realizing that you're everything yet nothing. You are the all, moving through everything. Everybody's you. Come on, my other self, get it together. That type of behavior. I think about throughout the years. She's like, I be talking about other self. Come on, self, get it right. Come on, get on board. And operating with that, it keeps us free of all the personal taint and the stories and the negative, because we know the truth, right? So that's something there. You have any thoughts on that before I jump to the next?
I like how you referenced the all that is practice from this interesting way that he presented it. You brought it forward in an easy to understand way. Thank you for that.
Yes, I am the Thoth Cliff Notes.
Yes.
Transcribing.
This is going to be
Scribe.
something too for me to look more into as well. Thank you for this.
You're welcome. This is the last part of the Emerald Tablet 7. Now give I this wisdom. Free may ye be, O man, living in light and in brightness. Turn not thy face from the light. Thy soul dwells in realms of brightness. Ye are a child of the light. Turn thy thoughts inward, not outward. Find thou the light soul within. Know that thou art the master. Master is in all caps. All else is brought from within. Grow thou to realms of brightness. Hold thou thy thought on the light. Know thou art one with the cosmos, a flame and a child of the light. It's essentially what I said, turn your thoughts inward, not outward. Forget the projection. Forget that. Focus on what you want. And again, I'm thinking about the current deconstruction that we see and the desperate attempts that dark forces is trying to pull on our attention to focus on the worst case scenario. It doesn't mean ignore it. And I think that's so important that we don't operate in a form of apathy and or escapism, but we know what's what. We go in and choose something different. Lao Tzu mentioned that on the recent podcast. I think it was on the live stream.
It was on the live stream, yes.
Yeah. They was doing that with Epstein. Decide that will not be part of your reality.
Yeah.
Or in essence, even things within arm's reach. You allowed yourself to be manipulated. Maybe you were the manipulator. You were eating unhealthy or whatever it may be. Now choose differently. Let go of the outer reflection or whatever the consequence was from the past behavior of our adherence to the darkness. And Emerald Tablet 10, this is the last section that I have here. Emerald Tablet 10 is the key of time. And I thought this was another cool one. It says a lot of the same, but it's just the words awaken remembrance within us. Shake off thy bondage, O children, and walk in the light of the glorious day. Never turn thy thoughts to the darkness, and surely ye shall be one with the light. Man is only what he believeth, a brother of darkness or a child of the light. Come thou into the light, my children. Walk in the path that lead to the sun. There are so many references in the book about the sun and go to the sun and go to the sun. And, I had to call myself Tavares of the Sun because I saw what Lao Tzu of the Sun was doing. I was like, it's warm over there. I want to do that. And it's just so much deeper. It's the truth of the embodiment. And again, just to briefly go over what he was saying, we talk a lot here about the bondage and the enslavement of humanity. And Lao Tzu actually has a very famous quote: "We are so free, we imprison ourselves." And Thoth is actually speaking to that concept when he says, you could either be a darkness or a child of light. You can choose. It's on you, and what are we choosing at the end of the day? And the reality is some of us still want to dance with the darkness. Some of us still kind of want that tangle. And, it's funny because in the book, the reference of dark, night, darkness, blackness, there's several different concepts, but I want to make sure we differentiate. Like for example, there are natural cycles of light and dark. The sun rises, the sun sets. And I understand that there is a balance of dark and light. And however, I see that we have teetered way into darkness. It's like all we see is darkness. I understand that darkness has been utilized as a catalyst, but it's just too much. It's like oversaturated. It's like, who let in all this darkness? Because we are out of balance. And then again, the choosing. What are we choosing? So we always talk about free choice here. Free will or free won't. And I think that's also what he's speaking to. So it's funny because I can see a lot of continuity between the teachings from Lao Tzu, the words of Thoth that are coming through this text, and the essence of what Of the Sun is teaching in our classes and looking to remind us as souls on this path towards light. And so that's one of the last excerpts that I have here, that out of the many, that it's like, okay, I think we can squeeze those in for the time we have.
Thank you. This was Wonderful. Thank you for the explanations, because it really did help to bring it more into the real world and also into the of the sun world and the light body movement. And I hadn't thought about that before when I had tried to read it before. Of course, we weren't doing the light body movement at that time, but now I could see the reference to that. So thank you. This was so wonderful. I'm grateful for all of your insights and exploration, and I'm going to do some more exploration myself. That will be more of the light that I'm looking for.
Most certainly. I think that this book can speak to us wherever we are in our growth and evolution. It is a very divine, intelligent piece of material. Again, it's timeless, speaking to the soul throughout time. And I think I mentioned it earlier. His story is our story. This is the story of humanity. This is the story of the sun. This is what we're doing, heading towards the light to be the sun. And how can we practically embody this? How can we live up to this truth? May I share some little updates and recommendations to those who are listening? So
Yeah.
again, for those who are chiming in, if you're interested in joining us in the Light Body Movement, every first, second, third, and fourth Sunday, we are together calling forth the light. We have meditations for each energy center. And the goal is to inform the energy centers with the frequencies of truth, with the frequencies of joy, with the frequencies of gratitude. These are corrective, expansive frequencies that will help integrate your light. And then we're teaching on how to practically understand how these energy centers show up and reflect in our day-to-day experience. It's a really fun engagement because there's people who are in the chat who are part of the light body movement. There's people who are not on who are part of the light body movement. So you get to have that rich interaction, bringing forth your questions. And again, it's taught by Lauta and myself. And it's $45 a month for a subscription where, again, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. But that group energy, there's something about it. So we encourage you all, visit the Of the Sun website. You'll find it on the home page. And if you have questions, just email us at contact@ofthesun.com for further insights.
And I think I put the light body movement link in the description of the tonight's description. I think it's there, but there's also Of the Sun and contact@ofthesun.com as well. So yes, thank you for that. This was wonderful. I so enjoyed that explanation. And all the comments. Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight and all of your comments. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. I think so, with all the comments that came in. So
yeah, tonight was a vibe. And thank you again, Diane, for having me on. It was such a pleasure and an honor to share this. Thoth got a special place with me, and it's an honor to connect and translate this information for the collective. So thank you.
thank you. It's an honor that you and Thoth were here tonight. Thank you. And we hope to see you next month for the next book club on March 6th. And then also next week on Wednesday at noon is a midday meditation with myself. And on Thursday is Lauta and Tavares with their conversations about a Call for the Truth card reading, right? You do a card each week.
Yeah.
And then next Friday, I'll also be doing a group card reading on the Divine Nation on Friday night on this channel. So hope you can join us then. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next time. And thank you, Tavares. I'm so grateful.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to be here with you all. Honor, respect, and gratitude.
Thank you. And Lakesh and Veritas, honor, respect, and gratitude to everyone.